I canceled the lawn service my mother-in-law tells her neighbors she hired. My husband Dylan and I moved into the house next door to his mom Carol last spring. It wasn't my dream setup, but the price was right and Dylan swore she'd give us space. She didn't. Carol was in our driveway most mornings before I'd finished my coffee, and honestly I let it slide because I wanted to keep the peace. The lawn thing started small. Carol has a big corner lot that all her neighbors can see, and she loves being seen. She'd stand out front chatting with the ladies who walk their dogs, and I noticed she kept mentioning her yard guys, how they came every Thursday, how they did such a nice job on the hedges, how expensive good landscapers were these days, but you get what you pay for. There were no yard guys. It was Dylan. Every Thursday after work, my husband drove over and mowed her lawn, trimmed her hedges, edged her walkway, and bagged everything for free for 3 hours while she sat inside. I found this out because one Thursday he came home at 8 p.m. covered in grass clippings, and I asked where he'd been. Mom's yard, he said, like it was nothing. You do her whole yard every week? She can't afford a service. It's just helping out. So I let that sit for a while too, until the Saturday I was out front pulling weeds and Carol's neighbor Patrice walked over to compliment our flower beds. She was sweet about it, and then she said, "You should get Carol's landscaping company. They do a beautiful job on her place." She said they charge her almost $200 a week, but it's worth it. $200 a week for a service that was my husband unpaid after a 9-hour shift. I didn't correct her. I just smiled and said I'd look into it. But something in me went cold and stayed cold. That night I brought it up. Your mom's telling people she pays $200 a week for landscaping. She's charging strangers a story about how she can afford yard guys, and the yard guy is you for free. Dylan shrugged. So, let her have her pride. Her pride's costing you 3 hours every week, and it's built on you being invisible. He said I was overthinking it. I let it go, again, because I'm apparently a slow learner. The thing that finally did it happened 2 Thursdays later. Dylan threw his back out at work. Actually hurt, on muscle relaxers, couldn't bend over. He texted Carol that he couldn't do her yard that week. She called me directly. "Sweetheart, I have the Hendersons coming Sunday for the block thing. The yard has to be done. Can you do it?" Dylan can barely walk, Carol. Well, someone has to. I have people expecting it to look nice. I can't have them thinking I let it go. Not one word about her son's back. Just the yard. Just the show. So I made a decision. I got on Dylan's phone, found the number for an actual lawn service, a real one, and I booked them. One-time visit that Saturday, Carol's address. I paid the $95 myself. Then I texted Carol from my own phone. Handled it. "A service is coming Saturday morning. You won't have to lift a finger." She was thrilled. Thanked me 3 times. Told me I was such a good daughter-in-law. Saturday morning the truck pulled up. 2 guys, real company, magnetic signs on the doors. They did the yard in 40 minutes and left. Carol was glowing. Patrice came over. The Hendersons came over. Everyone admired the yard. And that afternoon Carol called me, furious. "Why did they leave an invoice on my door? It says I owe a balance. It says this was a trial visit and weekly service starts at $220 a week. That's what the real ones cost, Carol. That's the number you've been telling everyone you pay." I just made it true. Silence. Then, "I'm not paying that. Dylan does it for free." Dylan threw his back out doing it for free. So I canceled the free guy. If you want the yard done, you can pay the price you've been bragging about, or you can tell your neighbors the truth. You had no right. You told Patrice $200 a week to my face. I just took you at your word. She hung up, called Dylan, cried into the phone about how I'd humiliated her, how the whole street was going to find out she'd been lying. How could I do this to family? Dylan, on muscle relaxers, half asleep on the couch, listened to about 90 seconds of it. Then he said the first thing that made me sure I married the right man. "Mom, if it's worth $200 a week to look good in front of Patrice, it was worth $200 a week when I was doing it. Pay the guys or push the mower yourself. Carol's lawn has been getting a little longer every week."